Hello viewers and welcome to Newsm TV. I am Makanaka Masenyama. Stories making the headlines. Citizens react to the planned anti-sanctions march. In the courts, Prosecutor General Kumbere Hodzi goes after ex-minister Mzembi. In business, Power Utilities ZESA threatens to switch off defaulters. In sports, PSL condemns football violence. News in detail. Some ordinary Zimbabweans in Harare say they will not be part of a Friday's anti-sanctions march organized by President Emmerson Mnangagwa's government. Newsm TV took to the streets of Harare on Thursday to gauge the views of ordinary citizens on how they felt about the national protest. Here is what they had to say.
What sanctions are they? Sanction ratitorinaro ihurumende iri panyanga izvozvo. Ndo sanction ratitorinaro. Hapana need yekumacha. Hapana kana need yekutombomacha.
Mariforms akataurwa ayaye kunzi vatsaura vanhu vasaita sei vasadzvinyirira maelection vasaita sei ndozvo zvavanofanira kugadzira kuti masanctions abviswe. Toys, funnies, I want to go straight out. For nothing, but nothing comes out. Mangwana will be better. Use was so sandy like a mama is so shit on my side.
You didn't do much in Comongundin and Zara. You can not do the on the Munaduna and that. But then a banana chin was only in the Gadalu, I said, Masina, and do Torero. Sakaudin the ones that went up magic. You don't do Muma good.
I didn't imagine. Why?
Government has maintained the country's endless economic troubles were a direct result of the Western embargo. Meanwhile, war veterans have challenged MDC to attend the anti-sanctions march as proof the main opposition did not have a hand in calling for sanctions against their own country. Addressing the media in Harare on Thursday, Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association spokesperson Douglas Mahia said Nelson Chamisa and his leadership should come clean on sanctions.
And the MDC has called for sanctions. If they didn't call for sanctions, we must be able to see the MDC leadership. If we don't see them, don't feel less sanctions. Hence, they must be declared enemies of the people of Zimbabwe.
The ZANU-PF-led government insists sanctions were imposed by the enemy in cahoots with MDC. MDC insists the sanctions were a direct result of government's failure to observe human rights, among other offenses. Government has extended a begging bowl to well-wishers willing to donate foodstuffs to feed thousands of people expected to participate in Friday's anti-sanctions march in Bulawayo's White City Stadium. In an interview with NewZimbabwe.com, Bulawayo Provincial Affairs Minister Judith Ngube said the government is struggling to raise resources to feed protesters. In Bulawayo, the demonstrators will assemble at Western Commonage Robots, Mpopo Matoto Garage, and Pelandaba Magwegwe Robots before converging at White City Stadium, where the main provincial event will be held. The anti-sanctions march in the country's second largest city shall be held at the same time with those lined up for the rest of the country and in SADC countries. In the courts, Prosecutor General Kumbere Hodzi has approached the High Court seeking an order to have former Tourism Minister Walter Mzembi's top-of-range vehicle forfeited. Hodzi made an application for a civil forfeiture, also targeted at former Tourism Ministry Secretary Margaret Sangare and other top officials in the same ministry, Susanna Kuhudzai and Aaron Mshoriwa's vehicles, which he said were tainted and liable to forfeiture. The self-exiled Mzembi and the other four officials allegedly bought the cars using crime proceeds during his tenure as tourism minister. Hodzi says the vehicles are all tainted. The case is still pending. Zimbabwe Power Utilities ZESA Holdings has warned defaulting customers on its postpaid system to either pay up or face disconnections as it seeks to recover huge sums of unpaid fees. The warning comes as consumers continue to endure around 18 hours of load shedding every day, with power usually being restored between 10 p.m. In a notice posted to consumers Thursday, the power utility, through its subsidiary Zimbabwe Electricity Transmission and Distribution Company, said it had intensified revenue collection in order to recover the huge debt and enable it to enhance service delivery in residential areas. The debt recovery program will focus primarily on commercial entities such as hotels, retail shops, bakeries, restaurants, the mining and agriculture sectors, and domestic consumers. We end with sports. The Premier Soccer League has condemned violence in local football following the chaos which rocked 3 of the 4 Kasolaga PSL midweek matches involving the country's 3 biggest football clubs in the country on Wednesday. There were clashes between players and match officials in the 3 matches, pitting Chicken Inn against Caps United at Luveve, Dynamos against FC Platinum at Trufaro, as well as the contest between ZPC Kariba and Highlanders at Nyamunga. Reporting for newzimbabwe.com, I am Makanaka Masenyama. For this and more stories, visit our website www.newzimbabwe.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, NewsMTV.